Welcome everyone to another exciting race right here on RLN. Tonight we bring you live coverage from the Auto Club Speedway in California for the first race in our 4-race chase for the championship. I'm your host, Jeremy Patterson. With me in the booth is Mike Fair. Mike, there's some stiff competition out there for tonight. What do you expect we'll see?
Yeah, man, it's the first race of the chase here. We're at a really quick track. I think these guys are going to race real hard out of the get-go.
Yeah, especially with it only being 4 races, and this is probably, I'd say, the easiest track, should be the easiest track of the chase. Next we're going to Darlington, then Charlotte, then Bristol. Charlotte's not too bad. However, the drivers were complaining earlier that it feels kind of loose. They did some practice last night, and it didn't feel this loose, and tonight with the same setup, it feels loose. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know if we saw some weather changing, maybe a little bit warmer temps in the track, but yeah, there's definitely saying day-to-day the car feels a lot different, and these guys are kind of on their toes because of it. We'll see how it plays out in the race.
Yeah, that definitely provides a challenge. And so while we're looking at that, yeah, temperature tonight, 78 degrees, partly cloudy skies, 80 laps they'll be racing on this 2-mile oval, 50% fuel set up for the cars, so should see some green flag pit stops with a loose track, you never know. They get one quick reset. Each driver gets one quick reset in case they wreck. They get a brand new car and head back out. A couple facts about this track. As I already said, 2-mile tri-oval, 14-degree banking, so not too steep. Pace speed tonight, 70 miles per hour, and pit speed is 55 miles per hour.
Yeah, I like coming out to Auto Club. It's one of my favorite tracks, that in Michigan, and they're pretty similar. So should see a lot of fast cars. It's really about kind of carrying your speed through the corners here and getting back on the gas as quick as you can. So I think whoever figures that out is going to win this race.
Yeah, no doubt, and especially with a loose track like they were saying, you know, like you said, it's all about getting out of those corners, getting as much as you can, but not overdoing it, and doing that lap after lap. I know from personal experience it can get really difficult after a while. Your brain starts to fade a little bit. One little mistake can really mess it up. So let's go ahead and have a look at our chase drivers. 8 drivers in the chase. These are the top 8 in points. We didn't do any win in your in this season. We're going to maybe consider that next season, but right now here's your mid-2015 chase lineup. Leading the way is Sean Butler, 2-time champion Sean Butler. He's got 2 wins under his belt. Next will be Keith Haney. They're tied. Those 2 are tied for first. Basically, the way this works with the points is everybody starts with 1,000 points, and then each person gets 1 bonus point for each win they had during the normal season. And races are scored like normal races are: 20 points for the, or I'm sorry, 30 points for the winner, and 29 for second, and so on. So second place we got Keith Haney in the number 87 Ford. He's son of James Haney, who I believe is on the track with us tonight. And third place, John Fershing in the number 15 Ford. And he's father of Nate LaFleur, so father and son in the chase together. That's kind of cool. Next up, we have David Howard, the number 7. He's been a long-time friend with us. I've raced against David since, I'd say probably 3 years ago. That's when I first raced with David, and he and I were always kind of neck and neck. Very similar abilities on the track, and a lot of fun racing with him. Rounding out your chase grid, you got Max Terrio in the 42, and I labeled him as the most consistent finisher because you always see him up at the front near the end. You might not see him during the race, but then at the end he's right there, so excited to see him. Number 2, Joshua Buckley. He's also a 2-time champion. He won our first 2 championships here at Red Light. Next up we have Nate LaFleur, like we said earlier. He's son of John Fershing. He's in the number 81 Ford. And rounding out your chase lineup is the number 4 of Tim Lewis, and he's actually the co-owner of Red Light. He and I started this league about a year and a half ago, and has definitely done wonders for us, helped us out a lot financially, and support wherever we need to for recruiting and whatnot. So glad to see these guys in the chase. We wish them all the best of luck. It looks like qualifying has finished. And John Fershing, chase driver John Fershing, takes pole. Starting next to him will be Sean Butler in that 88 Chevy.
Yeah, first 2 rows, man, all chase drivers, so it's going to make for an interesting start.
And 17 drivers in the field tonight. So a little bit smaller than we've had the last couple of weeks, but still a pretty good sized field. We should expect to see some good battles everywhere.
So who is who? I was gonna say, who are you thinking for the chase here? Who do you think has a great shot at as we get into the first race?
Well, I mean, everybody knows Sean Butler is insanely strong. However, he really hasn't been having the best luck these last several races. So it's almost, I don't want to say his hot streak is over, but I think these guys have really stepped up their game quite a bit and given him some trouble, to be honest. And it's exciting to see. And I honestly, I don't have a pick. I really don't. Not trying to just not play favorites. These guys are all great, and I'm just excited to watch it.
Yeah, I think it's anybody's race for sure as we roll off here.
All right, so let's run you through the grid. Row 1 is John Fershing and Sean Butler.
Row number 2, we got Nate LaFleur and David Howard Jr.
Row 3 is William Kirk and William Long.
Row number 4, we got the 42 of Max Terrio and outside Timothy Lewis.
Row 5 is the 87 of Keith Haney and the 84 of Kevin O'Brien.
Row number 6, we got James Skelton and outside Daniel Haney.
Row 7 is the number 2 of Joshua Buckley and the number 8 of Jamie Christensen.
Row number 8, we got Philip Buntick and Butch Frazier.
And rounding out the field, row number 9 is James Haney. And as the pace car brings him around, we are getting ready to go green.
I think it's really important these chase drivers think smart, race smart. You know, we've only got 4 races, so you miss one of those races, you have a DNF, that could ruin your chances here. Can't make that back up in 4 races.
Absolutely. Green flag is out, and we are underway. Fershing and Butler stay side by side all the way through the turn. Let's see who's going to come out on top here on the backstretch. Looks like Butler got the lead. Fershing's going to fall in behind him. Further back in the field, we have a lot of side-by-side racing. Chase driver Max Terrio looking to the inside of, I think that's the number 9 of William Kirk. Doesn't quite get around him, though.
Lots of room here at Michigan. These guys have, or sorry, at Auto Club, lots of room for these guys to kind of race real hard. But if they're battling a loose car, it won't take much to upset these cars and spin them around.
That's right. And bad news, it looks like for the number 87 of Keith Haney, he is having some major connection issues right now. I see his car blinking in and out quite a bit. Hopefully that settles out, and he is one of the contenders for the championship here. So let's hope that gets settled out for him.
Yeah, he's trying to get low and let the pack by him, but he's trying to think smart. He doesn't want to lose the race, but he doesn't want to take anybody out here either. So. It's funny, both of the Haneys are blinking, so it might be a problem with their internet.
Yeah, and Keith was telling me earlier they actually do race together. His father James comes over to his house, and they both get set up, and so they're actually in the same room with each other when they're racing, which is fun. However, when you start having connection issues, then it's not so much fun. So Sean Butler brings him around for lap 4, and just a note to our viewers: if you look up in our ticker there. The chase drivers have a yellow background behind their name, so that kind of helps you keep track of who's in the running for the chase and who's not. And most of the leaders are pretty much staying in line, which is exactly what I would be doing too. Well, I might not be staying in line. I'd probably have people passing me. I have a tough time in this track.
Yeah, you know, we're at lap 4 of 80. These guys, they race smart. They're going to click off some laps, and when it comes down to it, I think right now the goal is just kind of keep Sean in your sights. You want to stay on him. You don't want to let him pull away here.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what Fershing's doing. He's got about a half a second behind Butler and Nate LaFleur. Oh, Fershing goes around. No, that was, yeah, John Fershing.
Yeah, he did. He hit that inside wall pretty hard there. No caution.
Yeah, and that's not good for him. He is one of the chase drivers. It looks like his engine is tore up. He is going to have to come down and take his reset and just hope for a lucky dog pass or something to get back on the lead lap. But he looks to be in pretty bad shape right now.
The only thing I think he's got going for him is that he probably won't be the only car to do that tonight.
That is true. Let's go back and have a look at a replay of what happened here. I couldn't tell if LaFleur got into him or if he just went around right in front of LaFleur. No, it looks like he just got loose coming out of turn 2. And his son Nate LaFleur shoots right past him. And, man, Fershing gets into the wall hard and really tears his car up. So he's finally made it to pit road now. He's going really, really slow, so I think he's going to be losing. He's already marked 2 laps down, so he's going to be losing quite a bit of ground here. I'm sorry, he's marked 1 lap down. So back up front to your leader, Sean Butler now has actually Nate LaFleur basically took Fershing's place. He's now the same distance behind Sean that Fershing was. Yeah, very, very tough break. You always hate it when you're that guy. You don't want to bring out a caution because you don't want to mess everybody else up, but you also kind of want a caution when you get that bad of a wreck.
Yeah, I think he would have liked to see one there. And you know what? I don't blame him. But that's just one of the, you know, I wouldn't call it a benefit, but the way that the track's laid out, it's really wide. So when you come off the turn, you get into that inside wall, you're not really impeding anybody. That it's not going to throw a caution. So
yeah, exactly. Close battle for second. David Howard.
Oh.
David Howard goes around. He's probably going to get a pit road speeding penalty for that, but that's still better than wrecking. And caution does come out.
That caution comes out.
Oh, and that's the 84 of Kevin O'Brien. Brought that caution out. Let's have a look at the replay there. Looked like Kevin might have lost it coming out of turn 4. He was just getting underneath the number 2 of Buckley. No, yeah, Buckley gets into the wall, and Kevin, I don't know if Kevin was moving low to try and dodge him or what, but that caused him to lose control. Buckley got into the wall hard right there. I think Kevin might have been trying to dodge him.
Yeah, Kevin looked like he was just trying to stay low just in case, and that upset his car. It doesn't take much.
No, it really doesn't. Not at these speeds and with a loose setup. So I think Kevin will probably end up using his quick reset here. His car looks pretty tore up.
And John gets one of his laps back there, so it's good to see.
Yeah, I'm sure he was happy about that. So I don't see anybody on pit road, or did they already do their pit stops while out? No, I don't see anybody took pit stops, really.
Nope, nobody yet. They might just be coming around for the first time. Big track here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, here they come.
All right, so we'll have a look at our pit lane here as these guys come down, and we'll see what kind of strategies they take. They only have 10 laps on these tires, so you might see a couple take only 2. Ooh, the 81 and Nate LaFleur misses his pit box and has to back up. That's going to cost him a lot. Unless he sticks with 2 here. Nope, he's going with 4.
He does, you know, he's really close to that line, so if he can get off it, he's going to lose, yeah, he's going to lose a couple there.
Yeah, he sure did. He overshot it. You know, it's really difficult, too. We have a 55-mile-per-hour pace speed here, and sometimes it can be really hard to get your car slowed down from 55 to 0 without, you know, you're trying not to lose any time, and before you know it, you're overshooting the pit box. Sean Butler comes out pit road first, and he has led all 10 laps of this race thus far.
And I am showing the 15 of John Furshing back on the lead lap. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing. I couldn't tell if he went 1 or 2 laps down. At first I called that he went 1 or 2 laps down, but then it looked like he went, maybe it was only 1 lap down. I think he might have got across the finish line on pit road just in time or something, but he is back on the lead lap now. All cars are on the lead lap, so he's coming down pit road now. Now, David Howard is going to be on the lead lap. He's waiting for his wave around. He had to serve that penalty when he kind of lost control and ducked onto pit road to save it, but that does cause a speeding penalty. That put him to the back end, but he will get a wave around here shortly before we go green and be back on the lead lap as well. And look here, we got Max Terrio. He's already up to 2nd place. He'll be starting next to Sean Butler. And he did take 4 tires, so he just must have had a great pit stop.
Yeah, he was able to gain a couple positions there, and with Nate dropping back, it kind of worked in his favor.
Yeah, it sure did. We were saying at the beginning of the race, you know, you don't typically see him during the race until the end, and then all of a sudden he appears, but he's going at it early this time. He's not playing around.
No, he definitely has what it takes to win this championship. You know, he's a real consistent driver. He seems like he's always there, no matter what kind of track. He's always there at the end. So, with the 4 different style of tracks we're racing here, that might work out for him.
Yeah, no doubt. And starting in the 2nd row will be Chase driver Tim Lewis. So he's moved himself up there pretty well early on. Tim and I tend to have similar luck. I always feel like we have something for everyone, and then just some bad luck happens to us. I know it's happened to me on several races over there at NASCAR. Not anybody's fault. I just have some bad luck sometimes, and Tim does too. I'm always watching him, hoping he doesn't run into that same bad luck that I always do. Well, I say it's nobody's fault. Half the time it's my fault because I'll do something stupid on pit road.
I wouldn't say you made it to pit road. That last one, I think you were just before pit road.
Yeah, that was really bad.
We've all been there, though.
Yeah. Yeah, when I had that wreck, I honestly it happened so fast. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know. I thought maybe I hit the grass. Everything just happened so fast. It was over in an instant, and all I knew was that someone else was wrecked, and I was on my roof, and I felt like an idiot.
Yeah, I think we watched that one from the in-car just because I wanted to see what it felt like with that Oculus. I'm sure it kind of
oh yeah,
would have been a wild ride.
That's one of the ones where you just close your eyes. All right, so we are getting ready to go green here. Green flag is out at Auto Club Speedway.
Now that last restart, Sean was on the outside. He was able to pull off exiting 2. Let's see if Max can do the same thing here. He's taking a really high entry into that corner.
Yeah, he went really high. I don't think it paid off for him. He lost actually a couple of spots from doing that. Just giving something a shot. You never know. It could have done something for him, but it didn't. But I expect to see him hanging out up there for quite a while. Tim Lewis moves himself up into second. Great job by Tim. A little further back, we've got William Kirk looking to the inside. He's trying to gain a couple of spots there. Ooh, he gets onto the apron a little bit and loses some ground. Falls in behind the 986 of James Skelton.
Yeah, James is putting on a nice little move here on William Long. Let's see if he'll complete it. Looks like William Long gets off the gas and kind of lets him by there.
Now we're side by side with William Kirk and William Long. Kirk gets around him.
Yeah, this is another one of those tracks where, you know, you could be on the outside and you think you're going to lift to let that car pass you just to be nice, and then you end up letting a couple by just because you lose so much momentum when you lift.
Yeah, that really happens quite a bit. I have difficulty with that as well. A lot of times I'll try to let one driver go and I end up letting half the pack go. Number 7 of David Howard now side by side with 2 of Joshua Buckley. Both of these guys are chase drivers. Buckley did not get a good qualifying run, so that's why he started so far back in the pack. He's normally up front. And David Howard, of course, had that trouble where he slid on the pit road. Cost him a lot of time, but he did manage to get back on the lead lap, and he's back to 10th place. So pretty good recovery already. We're only on lap 17. Now we got the 15 of John Fershing going around Jamie Christensen in the number 8. And David Howard's going to come with him.
Yeah, Christensen was speaking during practices saying he didn't think he could put 3 laps together here tonight. It's just a really loose car, but he's holding his own. I think he'll get the feel of it, and hopefully he can claw some positions back later in the race.
Front, I heard a driver hit the wall. I couldn't tell who it was. Tim Lewis and Nate LaFleur battling really hard for second place right now.
Yeah, I think Tim just kind of brought them down to that flat shoulder, and when the cars transition from that banking to that shoulder, you get a little bit of a grinding sound there.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks where we like to jump down and get as close to the grass as we can here. It makes us feel fast.
Number 7 of David Howard jumps out on the backstretch. He's going to try and take that spot from William Long again. Fershing's going to come with him. Howard and Fershing definitely battling hard for positions for this chase here already.
Yeah, I don't think I can stress it anymore, the fact that, you know, with a 4-race chase, every point matters. You know, you can't expect to win them all unless your name is Kyle Busch. These guys got to be thinking about every point they can get.
Yeah, no doubt. I tell you what, though, for it being a loose track, for a track people complain about it loose, I'm seeing a lot of hard battling and side-by-side racing, so they're not letting it intimidate him too much.
No, for sure. These guys are very good at getting out on the track and practice, kind of feeling out the limits of the car. They might complain that it's loose, but they're using that time to kind of gauge what they can and can't do, and they're pretty good at transferring that into the race and making it a little bit more drivable for them.
Let's go on board with Nate LaFleur, who is battling hard with Tim Lewis for second, and battling with Max Terrio for his own third spot. Looks like Max Terrio gets a great run on the inside there. He might take off both of these guys in one shot. And the Floor had a lot more momentum than Terrio did there coming off the outside line, but he did a good job of backing off and not just plowing them over, and that's what's good to see, is when these drivers give each other the space they need. Now Nate LaFleur looks to the inside of Tim Lewis. So he's going to get his third spot back. Tim Lewis just lost 2 spots. Max Terrio moved up 2.
Nate looks like he's rolling that center really, really well. He's definitely he's closing the gap during the center and laid off.
Finally gets cleared from Tim Lewis. He was having a little bit of difficulty getting around him there, but he clears him. Max Terrio has a pretty big gap now. And from that in-car shot we just had, you can see just how difficult it can be for these guys, because you're battling the track. Oh, Tim Lewis goes around. He's in the grass. Caution does not come out. He gets it straightened out, and I think we're going to stay green here. Wow, tough break for Tim. Let's have a look at the replay here. And I think he just got loose coming out of 4. Same spot that's really been difficult for a lot of these drivers. And almost does the same thing as David Howard. Almost shoots down pit road there, but kind of whips that back end around, stays in the grass. Luckily, did not get into the barriers at the end of the pit wall there, and didn't smash his car up. So just going to cost him some time, not going to cost him a car, and he'll get back out there. I'm sure we'll see him about near the front again at some point.
Yeah, that's one of the differences between you know, the real world and our iRacing. If that had been a real world situation, you know, that whole front end, that splitter and stuff would be destroyed, and the race would be over. So.
And we see Tim Lewis coming down pit road now, so I think that he did get a speeding penalty for that. When he spun the back end of his car, you saw clip that yellow cone. I think that counted him as speeding in the pits. It's unfortunate that happened. I think that's what he was trying to avoid. That's probably why you saw the back end whip around there. He was just trying to stay out of the pit. Just barely clipped that cone, gave him a speeding penalty. So that actually is going to be a little more costly than I initially thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's just that the way that cone is so far from the entrance of the pit road. And if they just moved that cone a little bit closer to the barrier, I think we wouldn't have seen a penalty there.
Right. So John Pershing has made his way up into the 5th position, but he's got William Long threatening him right there. And you know, like I said earlier, talk to these drivers at the beginning of the race. These non-chase drivers, they are not expected in any way to just roll over for the chase drivers. Now, you want to give them room, you want to give them respect, you don't want to do anything too unnecessarily aggressive around them. You know, you don't want to mess up their championship. But the chase drivers and the non-chase drivers know there is no, hey, I'm in the chase, move out of my way. So you're going to see these guys racing each other hard no matter what.
Yeah, and these non-chase drivers, you know, they want to finish top of their list as well. So these guys are going to be racing hard, but you're right. You don't want to be the guy that ruins someone's championship. So these guys are going to think about who they're racing, and I'm sure these guys will be pretty respectful all around.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen that so far tonight. Really great job by all the drivers. We've had a couple mishaps, but most of pretty much everything's just been getting loose, which we knew that was an issue going into this. Let's take you back up front to our leader, Sean Butler. He now has a 1.2 second lead on Max Terrio, so looks like Sean Butler may have found his mojo again and given these guys a run for their money.
Yeah, their previous laps are pretty on par, so you know, he's not pulling away from them that quickly. Actually, Max was faster that last lap, so we'll see what happens as we continue here. We're going to see some tire fall off, and cars are going to slow down a little bit. Once again, that last lap, Max Terrio 2/10 quicker than the leader.
And it looks like the 84 Kevin O'Brien is on pit road. I'm not sure if he got damaged or what happened.
I did see some smoke a couple laps ago, just in turn 1, so maybe he did go around. See if I can find out for you.
Yeah, I'm watching now. We're watching a replay here of Kevin O'Brien, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. He did the same thing as Tim Lewis, just about. He kept it straight, but did the exact same thing as Tim Lewis. He got loose coming off of 4. Got into the grass, but just barely clipped that cone, and that was enough to bring out, or to send him back down pit road for a penalty. Oh, and
yeah, he lost it.
Yeah, he lost control as he was trying to come back onto the track into turn 1, got loose. Probably had some tire overheating issues, and that just really cost him. So I see he called for a tow there, which that costs you a little bit of extra time. Maybe he was having a difficult time controlling the car, didn't want to take a chance on trying to come back around the track. So I think he's waiting for his tow. He's got to serve a penalty, and he's probably going to go ahead and take tires and fuel here. So that's really going to hurt Kevin O'Brien quite a bit.
Sean has increased that gap to 1.5 seconds over Max Terrio. So they're kind of swapping those fast laps every couple laps here.
Yeah, and Terrio really is not that far behind. I mean, we're looking at, just over 1 second, which isn't much. And if Terrio can get just close enough, this isn't a drafting track like at Talladega or Daytona, but you can catch a little bit of a draft once you get close enough that it does actually speed up the car who's in back.
Yeah, you'll see drivers kind of shoot to the bottom on the front stretch just to kind of break that draft, but yeah, it certainly does have a little bit of effect.
Kevin O'Brien is back out on the track. He's marked as 4 laps down right now. And there are 3 drivers ahead of him who are 1 lap down. So Kevin may be able to get back on the lead lap here, but with how clean these drivers are being, we might not see a whole lot more cautions and wave arounds and lucky dogs going on. Kevin does a great job, stays really, really high. He definitely doesn't want to be in these drivers' way. Yeah, I was talking to him and some of the other drivers from our race last week, where at the end, we saw Kevin almost take 3rd place. He got passed right there coming across the start-finish line on the last straightaway. But they said, the drivers were telling me that right before the green flag flew, Kevin said, "Okay, guys, I'm going to stay out of your way." And they said, "No, you're not. You're going to race." And he did. We saw him do a great job. He just about held Pershing off and kept 3rd, but just lost it right there at the last little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the most respectful drivers on here. He will give everyone room that he thinks he needs to give, and sometimes that can hurt his competitiveness because he's not running as hard as he could. But I'll tell you what he's really good at is those road courses, man. I've seen him on those road courses, and he's really good at those tracks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm a road course driver myself. I like driving ovals. I'm just not as good at it. Road course, I feel like I'm a lot better and a lot stronger there. So when we were running the road course races with NASCAR, lots of fun racing with Kevin O'Brien, and Keith Haney is another one who's really, really good at road courses.
Yeah, that was a fun little series. I made it to a couple of those races as well, and I enjoyed them. Right now we're running those street stock tuning series, and after that, who knows if we'll go back to it or we'll pick something a little bit different.
Well, I vote for the road courses, but it ain't up to me.
No, we'll definitely think of something. I like changing it up. I like making it different. I like giving these guys different experiences and maybe learn a few things and different vehicles. So I'm sure after that series we'll think about something new.
Yeah. And it's also nice, you know, if you're going to be racing something that you're a little not comfortable with or it's a little bit different, it's nice to do it with a bunch of other drivers who you know. That way, you know, you don't have to worry about that piece of it. You know who these guys are. Everyone respects each other, so it makes it a lot easier.
Looks like we got some cars on pit road. Max Terrio is just pulled into his stall, getting some tires and fuel here.
All right, so this is our first round of green flag pit stops. Terrio
Max
takes
takes two.
Yeah. And I can't see who that is behind him. Is that William Long?
I think that's James Skelton.
Okay, yeah, that's Skelton. Yep, Skelton took 2 also. See Buckley rolling off the pit road there.
Buckley did take 4 tires that stop. See what Sean does here. Sean takes 2 and he's off.
Yeah, 2 and out. Oh, looks like the 9 of William Kirk missed his pit box also. I don't know what he's doing. He's moving forward and backing up, moving forward, backing up. I wonder if he's got some kind of glitch going on there that it won't mark him in his pit box.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
So here we got the 989 of Butch Frazier, who has not pitted yet, stayed out, and he's going to be the first driver other than Sean Butler to lead a lap here at California. Sean Butler not far behind Butch, so he's pretty much guaranteed the lead when Butch takes his pit stop here shortly.
Butch pulls in right now.
Yep. So Butch stays out, leads the lap, gets that extra point. Make sure Sean doesn't run away with the entire thing anyway.
Now Sean's got some lap cars to deal with here. That could be good for Max. We'll see how he gets by him.
Yeah, we're on board with Max now. So Max has a view of what Sean's dealing with up ahead of him. But again, like we said, these drivers are usually so respectful that you don't really see it cost the leaders a whole lot of time usually when they're trying to go around these guys. And unfortunately for Joey Logano in the Indy race, we saw just yesterday, did not get the respect from the lapped cars that you would normally expect, and I personally believe that cost him the race. I think he could have won that one, but he had a good lead on Kyle Busch and just lost lots of time due to the lap cars just racing him into the corners for some reason.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges with Indy is that there's very little passing opportunity, and if you get out of a line, it really upset your car, slow you down, and these lap cars, they don't want to move out of that line. So as a leader, it's a real challenge, and you're right, I think it definitely cost him the win.
Yeah, it had to have been incredibly frustrating. I'm a fan of Joey Logano. I usually listen to his radio when I'm at the races, and I can definitely say that he has very, very little patience for lap cars, and I wasn't listening to his radio yesterday, but I have a pretty good feeling he was cussing somebody out. So Max Terrio gets around the 989 of Butch Frazier there. Butch is a lap down. And Terrio now working on this same lap traffic that Sean just got around.
Yep, Sean is definitely pulling away at this point. I think he's really comfortable with those 2 tires here.
Yeah, he is. And Max Terrio, you know, he's got a 2-second. He's behind Sean by about 2 seconds. But then if you look up there at the top of your screen, David Howard, he's 7 seconds behind. So Max, he's sitting pretty good right now. Yeah, Sean definitely making those 2 tires work good for him.
Yeah, I think 2 tires might even tighten up the car a little bit. Might actually make it more favorable to, you know, these guys complaining about loose cars, but I didn't actually do any testing this week, so.
Yeah, and that's one thing I always encourage people to do when you're doing your practice and your testing time. Once you get out on a long run, pit and take 2 tires just to see what it feels like. That way, you know, that can really help you. If your car feels loose and you know that 2 tires are going to tighten it up, well, that's obviously the right choice to make. But if your car feels loose and you know that 2 tires is going to make it feel even more loose, then you know it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, with the little, you know, tuning that we can do to these fixed setups, it's really important. And if you, as a driver, can take the things that you can control and make them, you know, turn them into an advantage over another driver, that's going to really do wonders for you. And, you know, that just goes to show Sean is actually, you know, he's been seen on the track testing tons and tons of times over the last 2 to 3 seasons. So
yeah, and you can definitely tell a difference when you put in the time. I know I personally see it. There's times when I put in the time. I'll put in lots and lots of practice hours before I even come to the session and do our, you know, 1.5 hour practice before the race. And when I do that, I feel so much more confident and comfortable on the track. That's the way New Hampshire was for me at the NASCAR race a couple weeks ago. I felt so confident and comfortable there because I'd done it so many times. I think I ran several hundred laps there in practice. And so, yeah, it definitely feels better when you put that time in. But unfortunately, not everybody can find the time to do that all the time.
yep.
So all of our drivers are very, very spread out at this point, which I'm sure Sean is loving, because the more spread out they are, the less chances there are for a caution. And at this point, he has such a huge lead. He's got a 3-second lead on Max Terrio. I think that's what he wants to see.
I am hearing these drivers chat on the radio about the cars are starting to step out of them on them more so than earlier. So, you know, these guys are still fighting a loose car.
Yeah, and we're just past halfway. So if we stay green here, the longer we stay green, the looser they're going to get. If they say if it's doing that, that's unfortunate that over time it's getting even more loose. .986 and James Skelton having a very good showing here tonight. He's been holding up there really well. He's in 4th place right now. Oh, caution's out. Looked like the 9 of William Kirk got loose coming out of turn 2 and just kind of went for a spin. Wow, does a great job at pointing it the right direction when it's over, though. Like a little skateboard trick. Let's go back and have a look at the replay here. And there you see him just get loose coming out of turn 2. Almost hangs on to it. You can see him working the wheel back and forth. And then as we see all too often, the back end just kind of snaps around. Roof flaps come up, hold the car down. And excellent job just doing a little 360 there, pointing it the right direction and continuing on his way. Not what Sean Butler wanted to see, I bet. So leaders come down pit road. A couple cars stay out. I don't know if those were lap cars or cars that were on a different pit strategy. Looks like most everybody comes down. Let's see what kind of strategy they do with their tires here. And I think we're going to see most of them take 4 now. Butler did his 2 tire stop, and he's got to get 4 of them now. So pretty much every driver takes 4 tires. As they race back around to catch up to the pit car or the pace car. You got 3 drivers that were stayed out. Those are lapped drivers, so they'll be getting a wave around here at some point. And while we're waiting, I just want to give a reminder, go to our website, redlightleague.com. That's where we post our schedules, standings, photos, links, videos, and more. From that page, you can get links to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and like us on Facebook to get all the latest updates. Looks like we're at 2 to go. Next time by, the drivers will get doubled up and we'll be ready to go again. And I also want to just remind everybody, if you are interested in racing with us, if you're watching this broadcast and you are on iRacing, you'd like to race with us, go to our website, redlightleague.com, and click the apply button up there in the top left. Also go to our sister league, navscar.com, and you can apply to their league as well. Now, Red Light, we will not be taking any more applications during this season because of the chase. We don't want to shuffle things up right in the middle of the chase. However, if you're interested, you can go ahead and apply, and we'll just accept your application after the chase is over, assuming that we'll look through your record, and if we think you will be a good racer with us, well, we'd love to have you. We do ask that our applicants have some experience in these cars. We've had a couple drivers apply who really have only raced the street stocks, and as much as we like to have them, and we don't like to turn people away, we want to make sure you have some experience in these cars prior to getting on the track with these guys. So, but yeah, please do apply if you think this is right for you. This is a great group of guys to race with. All of them are constantly talking about how much they enjoy racing here, and that's not me bragging, because that's not me doing it. It's all these drivers. They're just great guys, and I wish I was on the track with them sometimes. But fortunately, I do get on the track with them on Wednesday nights. I do a race at NAVSCAR, so if you don't like something I do on the broadcast and you want to put me in the wall, join NAVSCAR. And no, I'm just joking. Don't do that. So lights are off on the pace car. We're getting ready to go again.
Should be interesting to see what Max does here on this restart, if he's going to change it up. He did try that high entry into one that last time, so see if he you know, stays a little bit lower, maybe gives a little bit of pressure here to Sean.
Yeah, at the very start of the race, we saw how well the outside worked for Sean, but he didn't go up nearly as high as Max did. And you know, from watching Kyle Larson drive the 42 in NASCAR, always up against the wall there, for a second there, I thought I was watching a NASCAR race. But yeah, I think he's going to stay a little bit lower this time and keep the pressure on Sean for a little bit longer. And father-son combo, Nate LaFleur and John Fershing, right, starting the second row, side by side. Green flag is out. Another great start by Sean Butler. Max Terrio keeps it really high. And Max does almost the exact same thing we saw him do on the last restart. Goes up really high, loses one spot only this time. But he does have a lot of momentum coming off of turn 2. Ooh, Skelton gets into the wall coming out of 4. A couple drivers dive down low. William Kirk looks to the inside. He's going to try and pass Skelton. And Joshua Buckley's going to come with him. Buckley really needs to get out of this side-by-side situation or he's going to lose a lot of ground. He's currently running 8th position.
Car's wiggling real bad.
Yeah, he's wiggling a whole lot. I hope they hold on to it. Now Buckley goes high and he's getting passed by the 4 of Tim Lewis. Tim Lewis is another chase driver. Tim clears Buckley. I'm not sure what was going on with Buckley there, but he looked like he was having a really difficult time controlling that car through 3 and 4. A little further up, we got James Skelton and William Kirk and William Long, all 3 very close to each other. Oh, it looked like the 81 of Nate LaFleur gets into the wall coming out of turn 4, and that costs him big time.
About to lose his 3rd position here.
Let's go back and watch a replay of that. He comes out of turn 4. It looks like he just pushed really hard and just clobbered the wall. Does a great job of holding on to it, keeping it straight, but loses a couple positions from that. Take you back live here. And yeah, he's in 6th position. He didn't lose too much, but now he's got a couple cars to battle that he really hasn't had to battle yet. He's kept himself mostly up front. Now the 4 of Tim Lewis looks to the inside of William Long. Let's see if he can make it stick through turns 1 and 2. And he does. Nice clean pass. Just ahead of him, you still have a tight battle between Skelton and LaFleur. LaFleur looks to the outside. Oh, he gets into the wall again.
Again, yeah.
Oh, and the 7, David Howard, he's in the grass. He took that same trip through the grass we've seen several drivers take already.
Yeah, that cone is way dead by now.
Did he get the cone?
He got the cone.
Ah, tough break for David. He's going to have to do another penalty pit stop. Let's go back and watch what happened to him. Here he is. We're looking at a replay here. Here he is coming out of turn 2. And it was coming out of turn 4 where the incident happened. So we'll slow the video down for you for a second. Yeah, and there you see it. And there's that poor cone. He looks like he just about did a 7-10 split on the yellow cones there. Alright, back up to our leader. Sean Butler continues leading the race. He's led 57 laps so far. He's definitely guaranteed that bonus point for leading the most laps. And keep in mind, bonus points still count for these chase drivers. So getting 1 bonus point is the same as getting a win in the regular season coming into this thing.
Yeah, definitely important.
And after this season, we're going to take a look at our points layout, our points scheme, and see if we can't make it a little more exciting. I'm kind of thinking I should have given more points for each win coming into this, just to make those a little more important. So we're going to revisit that prior to the next season. We'll get all that information out to the drivers and the viewers. Plenty of time for the start of the next season. John Pershing now looking for second place off of Max Terrio. These guys are really not that far behind Sean Butler. They've done a better job hanging with him on this run than on previous runs. And there you see the 7 of David Howard coming down pit entry, and he's going to have to serve that penalty for speeding when he lost control. Very, very unfortunate for David. Actually, he's coming out of the pits. I'm sorry. He's coming out of the pits after serving that penalty. Now 2 laps down, so very unfortunate for him. Twice this race. It just happens when you push a little too hard coming out of turn 4, it seems like. Take it back up front while our chase drivers, Max Terrio and John Pershing, continue to fight for that second position. Let's take you on board with John. And it looks like he's got a little bit on Max Terrio on the entry. Let's see if he can keep that advantage on the stretch. Advantage on an entry isn't quite as important as an advantage on the exit. When you get an advantage on the exit, by the time you get into that next turn, you've typically already passed the other guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, Pershing just about loses it coming out of 2. Has to slow down.
Yeah, and that little correction allows Max to kind of just pull that gap a little bit.
Yeah, sure does. But again, you know, it's hard to do. That's discipline right there. It's hard to come off the gas. You want to go as fast as possible, and to say, you know what, I'm going to give up a little bit now and save my car for later. Because a lot of times you'll see drivers who they just can't. You know, you're that close to passing, and it kind of takes you over. You don't think so clearly, and you think, nope, I'm staying in the gas, and then you get into the wall. Side by side, the 81 and Nate LaFleur and the 911 and William Long. LaFleur gets a little bit wobbly there coming out of 2. Oh!
Ooh.
He hits William Long pretty hard going into 3. I'm hoping that wasn't a intentional thing there. think that's going to end up bringing out a caution if another car comes around. Maybe not. Williams got it pointed the right way, headed the right direction. Let's have a look and see what happened here as they were going through turns 1 and 2. You see LaFleur comes out of 2. Not real sure what happened there. It's kind of hard to see, but
yeah, listening to the radio conversation, Nate LaFleur was he had realized that he wasn't going to make the pass, so he was pulling back up behind, and as he was doing that, it looked like William Long was letting off the gas to let him by. Just a bad situation there.
Yeah, it really was. Let's have another look at this as they come down the backstretch. Got to look from our chopper view here. Yeah, it looked like Nate LaFleur moved up the track to get behind William Long, and right as he did it is when William started slowing down for his entry into the turn, and the two just came together. Probably a little aggressive for LaFleur there, trying to get up behind him like that. Difficult to tell. It's always different from different angles. So let's go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look from the onboard cam with Nate LaFleur. And we'll slow it down. And here you see him coming out of 2. Yeah, you can see he wasn't going to make it. He backed off a little bit so he didn't get into William. And then right as he was getting ready to go into turn 4, here they are coming down the back stretch. I'm interested to see this from... Yeah, I think LaFleur just didn't expect him to slow down. Maybe Williams' entry was a little bit earlier than LaFleur expected.
Yeah, like I said, I think he was just, the 911 was expecting him to go low, so he was just getting off the gas to let him make the pass, and as he was pulling up behind him, yeah, it's just a bad luck.
And so you said you did talk to them on the radio. Did they get it all sorted out? Or is anybody upset about the incident?
No, just questions being asked. I don't think there's any... they're not talking about it anymore. I don't think it's a big deal.
All right. So back up to our leader. He now has a 1-second lead on Max Terrio. He's definitely not pulling away as fast as he was earlier in this race. However, he does still have a comfortable lead, and we are now 10 to go.
Now with 10 to go, are these guys good for gas? When did we last come in?
Let me have a look here. And it looks like lap... Trying to find... right around lap 59 and 60 is when we last saw pit stops from these guys.
Do we know what the fuel window is?
I honestly don't know. I normally check that before the race, and I just didn't think to do it this time.
Yeah, 20 would seem like a lot here. I don't think they can go 20. We'll see. No, I got cars pitting. I hear them coming in, so should be interesting here.
And it looks like the last time Sean Butler, I'm trying to say the last time Sean Butler pitted. Yeah, I do think we're going to see these guys have to come down one more time, maybe. Joshua Buckley is on pit road right now.
Now, if you know that you have to come in, are you going to come in early and just top it off and get back out there, or are you going to kind of wait until the last minute?
If you're not taking tires, I'd probably wait till the last minute. Honestly, it would kind of depend on my situation. If I'm battling...
Car in the wall. There's a car in the wall there on the front stretch. Leaders almost ran over him. Man, we got the yellow.
That was a number 4. Whoa! That was a number 4 of Tim Lewis. Something happened that slowed him way down, and then he just got... It looks like he got loose, moved up, hit the wall hard. Okay, that slowed him way down. Leaders get by him. Oh, and then it looked like, was that the 15 of John Fershing?
Yep, yep.
Wow. Because the caution was not out, so that's why he didn't slow down. Let's go on board with Fershing from his point of view. All right, right there you see Tim Lewis go up and get into the wall. And Fershing looks like he's going to go low, then he looks like he's going to go high, and just gets into him hard too.
Yeah, that's one thing you got to remember as a guy who's wrecking. You don't want to be driving in your... I know you instinctively you want to be driving in your rearview mirror and trying to get out of everybody's way, but you kind of just got to hold your line and let everybody drive around you. It's a tough thing to do for sure. You don't want to get in front of somebody like that. It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, when you're going 50 miles an hour and everybody else is going almost 200 miles an hour, it is very nerve-wracking. I think Tim, that's kind of what he did, is he did straighten it out. It looked like he was coming back down across the track, and he managed to straighten it out to make himself a smaller target and not a moving target. Unfortunately, I think what happened is Fershing saw him coming down the track. Fershing looked low, or first he was looking low, and then when he saw Tim coming down across the track, Fershing may have decided, okay, I'm going to go high because he's going to cut across me, and didn't expect Tim to be able to straighten out the way he did. So
yeah,
just tough all around.
And that's where the difference is, with iRacing again, is in that situation, as soon as he gets loose, the caution's out and cars are slowing down. But there was no caution at all until...
Yeah, that's right. In NASCAR or a real race, yeah, that's going to be a caution almost immediately. And unfortunately here, the way the caution is coded, it doesn't really bring out the caution unless the car's pointed the wrong direction.
And the worst thing about that is the 15 has already used his quick repair, so...
Yeah, I see that. Now, we're 5 laps to go right now. I think we're going to have a 1, maybe a 2-lap shootout when we go green.
Yeah, he's smart to get back out on the track and try and keep that position. But, man, the front tire sticking out the left side of that car.
Yeah, a lot of times it's very difficult to tell. Visually, the damage can look really bad, and the car handles fine. And I've seen other cases where the car looks fine, and the wheels turn 90 degrees one way or the other just to keep the car going in a straight line. So it's difficult to tell. And another thing that's difficult is you don't know as the driver sometimes how bad it is until you get back up to race speed, and that doesn't happen until the green flag flies. I've had instances where car felt fine, I stay out, and then a green flag flies, and all of a sudden it's junk. And so it's hard to tell until you get up to speed. So William Kirk makes it out of pit road in front of Sean Butler. William only took fuel, whereas Sean took fuel and 2 tires, so that's how William got up there. However, he is on older tires, so we'll see if he's going to be able to hold off Sean. I don't see it happening. But with it only being 1 lap, it doesn't take much. Maybe he can make it happen. And William, of course, won in Indianapolis last week. after a bit of a hiatus. He had some, you know, life comes before iRacing, usually. Should, anyway. So, had a bit of a hiatus, came back strong with a win in Indianapolis. And we'll see what he can do here with this little shootout at the end. Maybe he can break out 2 in a row. And ahead of William, you see those lap cars just waiting for their wave around. And once they get their wave around, we'll know we're 1 to go, and I think that might be this time by, which will give us a 2-lap shootout. All right, and there go the lap cars on their wave around. Drivers will get doubled up here with our 1 to go. We'll be 2 to go at the green flag. So, an actual green-white checker. What do you know?
Yeah. If we make it 2 laps.
Yeah, if we make it. We've done well so far, but you know, when you only have 2 laps to go and you're starting an entire pack like this, I'm more surprised if everybody holds it together than I am if they wreck. I mean, and that's not to knock these drivers. It's just everybody is clamoring for every inch they can get.
And I think the drivers are fully aware of that. So, drivers are going to race pretty hard here for that leader position in case a caution does come out.
Pace car ducks off. We're ready to let the green flag fly for the last time here at Auto Club. Green flag is out.
81 got a great restart in the back of the pack, but gets held up behind the 986, I think.
Yeah, and we're 3 wide a little further back. William Kirk definitely giving Butler a run for his money there on the inside lane. Butler has momentum coming out of turn 2. He wants this win. William Kirk falls in line behind him. I don't think he's going to have anything for him. Remember, he's on older tires, so once Butler gets around him, there's really not a whole lot Kirk can do. And you see Max Terrio right there in 3rd. And you know he wants that 2nd spot. He needs that point for the chase. White flag is out. Max Terrio gets a run on Kirk. Coming out of turn 2. He gets on his bumper, looks to the outside. Think he might do a crossover here going into 3. No, Terrio stays high, going for that momentum.
He is sucking up here.
Yeah, he is. Is he going to go high? Is he going to go low? He goes high. They're going to... Oh, car's wrecking in the back. Oh, Terrio and Kirk get together hard. Wrecking across the start-finish line. Oh, that's going to be difficult on our results there. I don't know who finished what.
Yeah,
wow.
That was some pretty aggressive side draft in there. That maybe hoping he could suck up, but that might have cost him the top 3 there.
Yeah, you saw Terrio come down low and just got right into the side of the 9. And I don't know if any chase drivers got around him or not, but he definitely lost. He may have lost some position there. I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, I got race finishing order as Sean Butler, James Skelton, and Nate LaFleur top 3.
All right, yeah, I'm seeing the same thing. Sean Butler is the winner. There's your results on the screen. James Skelton brings it home 2nd, getting past all that mayhem there. Nate LaFleur brings it home 3rd. Great job. Max Terrio, he only lost one spot with that. Definitely cost William Kirk. Actually, no, William Kirk, he lost, what, 3 spots with that. So,
yep.
Really aggressive there at the end, but like I said, that's pretty much what we thought was going to happen. So, congratulations, Sean Butler, bringing home that 88 Chevy in victory lane once again for the first race of our chase.
Shall we bring him down and have a little conversation with Sean here?
Yeah, let's have a talk with him.
Sean Butler, man, wow, what a race! 77 laps led out of 80 there. Tell us about your race.
Man, if that's one way you can start a chase, man, just what a race. Car was hooked up. I think I got the looseness figured out, and man, I just was hooked up all night, and I was just getting ready to pit when that last caution come out, so I was having to save fuel. I was almost out of fuel there, and man, what a great race.
How did the track feel? Because some of the drivers were talking early on about how it felt really loose to them.
Oh, it was definitely looser than what we practiced yesterday. When you get down into the center, if you had to like drive like there was like an egg underneath your throttle, getting back to the throttle, and you had to almost be coming off the corner before you could get it full throttle again. But I just figured it out. I found the line that worked the best for me, and I was very consistent. I know some guys were probably about as fast as me for a few laps, but it seemed like they would fall off. So I just found what worked for me, and I was able to keep it out front all night.
Did the 2 tires stop have any effect on your car? Like, did it tighten it up at all?
Oh yeah, that helped tighten it up a lot. It felt really good, I thought. And then that last stop, I meant to put no tires and fuel, and completely forgot to uncheck my tires, so I took 2 tires. I thought I was going to be just totally, in the back of that, but everyone took 2 tires there, and fortunately I was able to start on the front row. And man, I was watching that battle for a second in my rear view. I thought it was going to be a drag race to the start finish line. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, it looked like they were just fighting really, really hard for position, and we had a lot of cars come spinning across the start-finish line. I don't think too many drivers lost a whole lot of spots due to that, but great job, Sean, getting out front, staying out front all night. We obviously expect to see a good, strong running from you this season. You've had a little bit of difficulty getting back into victory lane. Last season, you kind of dominated the whole season. This season, you just kind of had a lot of bad luck, I noticed, and good to see you back on top, and we look forward to having you race with us next week.
Yeah, it has been quite a while. I think like the 3rd race since I've been in victory lane. I think I've finished 2nd 3 times there, and yeah, you're right, I've had a couple of wrecks here and there, and last week that's not how I wanted to go into the chase by wrecking out there, but they got this nationwide Mountain Dew up here, and thanks to my teammate David for painting it up. She was fast and looked good all night.
All right, excellent, Sean. We'll see you next week at Darlington.
Ooh, boy, I'm looking forward to that one. That should be a fun one, too.
All right.
All right, let's get our 2nd place finisher, James Skelton, in here and have a little chat with him. James, 2nd place, man. That kind of fell into your lap there right at the end, but you put yourself in a position to take advantage of anybody wrecking up in front of you. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I didn't think they would get into it. Everybody up front's been racing pretty clean most of the race, so I was happy with 4th, and then I saw them get into each other. I was like, oh my goodness, I think I'm gonna get 2nd out of this, so it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, definitely a good showing. You've only been with us a few races, and we were saying all night long, you're running really, really strong here. How do you like it so far racing here at Red Light Racing, being one of the new guys?
No, this is awesome. I just think the group of guys to race with, it's fun to practice, the day before, 2 days before, and, try to watch, Sean and, David was really strong in practice, so, I'm having a blast out here.
Any highlights from that race that you would you take away from it? What are you looking forward to? Getting into next week. I know you're not a chase driver, but what are you thinking about next week at Darlington?
Well, Darlington only raced once, so I'm going to have to do a lot of practice. I know we're going to run pretty high against the wall, and I'm not usually a big fan of that. So just a lot of practice and, stay out of the way of the chase drivers, but, still be competitive.
All right, excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing you race there and see how somebody who hasn't raced that track much does. And definitely getting a lot of practice is something you're going to want to do because they don't call the track too tough to tame for nothing. It is really, really difficult there.
10-4 will do. Thanks again, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And third place, Nate LaFleur kind of took advantage again of that last lap incident, but you managed to secure a third place finish.
Dude, I'm sitting here in a computer chair looking at a computer screen, and I almost thought I just died. That was crazy. When Will's car came and lawn darted me in the right side, and that was the scariest thing I've ever seen. I had the left sides in the grass and everything.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's nothing wrong with sliding across the start-finish line.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially, hey, if you're sliding in third, that's a good place to be. But yeah, it looked like a really wild finish, and I'm sure from your point of view, definitely made your heart skip a beat or so. How did you do with pit strategies here tonight?
Well, I just kind of went until I needed gas. I took 4 every pit stop until the end there when we were all like probably 3 or 4 laps short. I went in earlier than anyone and took 2, and I think I was like 7th or 8th a lap down, and then that caution ended up coming out, so I just got the wave around and went back to the lead lap.
What's your strategy going in? We've got the first race out of the way. You have a really respectable third place finish, but what's your strategy with these last 3 races when you're thinking about a chase win?
Just do all you can for points. I mean, I just go for wins really at this point. I mean, Darlington's going to be really rough. I've only had 1 race there, and it was in the preseason. It was pretty hard. I definitely need more practice there. And Charlotte and what's the other one? Bristol. I think are.
Yep.
I should be able to run right there. Just stay out of trouble and try to stay up towards the front.
Well, great job tonight. You had some struggles at one point, and you came back, and hey, you slid across the finish line, 3rd place, man. That's hard to beat. So congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Darlington.
All right, sounds good. See you then.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring up. We have our points already uploaded, and you can see right there on your screen. Sean Butler now has every one of these drivers started with 1,000 points. So Sean Butler with 1,027 points. And I'm a little confused here. I may have messed up the points. I'm not sure how we have some less than 1,000 here.
We'll have to look a little bit closer.
Yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and turn that off there. I'm not certain that that's correct at this point. However, we do know for certain that Sean Butler is going to be up in the lead there in points. And Nate LaFleur obviously second with his 3rd place finish there.
For sure.
So, not real sure what happened with the points. This is our first time running a chase season, so we will get that straightened out. We'll get that uploaded onto the website. And just a reminder, that is redlightleague.com, so you can go there, give us a little while, we'll get these points straightened out, and you'll be able to see how these drivers will stand going into week 2 at Darlington, which I'm sure is going to be a wild, wild race. It's such a difficult track.
Yeah, a couple of these guys have said that they don't have a lot of experience there, and Darlington is the one place you probably want to have a lot of experience, so it'll be an interesting race for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and any drivers watching this, I'm sure they know they're going to want to put in the hours ahead of time if they're able to at Darlington, and I expect that they'll do that. I don't doubt that whatsoever.
Either do I.
So that'll do it for tonight's race, and as we said, next week, Monday, August 3rd, we will go to Darlington. Broadcast will go up at 8:30. It will be live broadcast by myself and Mike. And until then, have a good week.